What's up, everybody, and welcome to Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. I am Eric. We are finishing up October, and that means I got one more 10-year-old single malt whiskey for you to review. Ledaig 10-year-old, not Ledaig, Ledaig. As always here on the channel, I'm going to give you a nose taste finish review of this whiskey. I'll tell you a bit about the value, give you my final thoughts, final score, leave you with a malt musing. But first, a bit about Ledaig and this 10-year-old whiskey. So, Ledaig does not come from the Ledaig distillery. It comes from the Tobermory distillery, located on the Isle of Mull. This is a heavily peated island whiskey. Really minimalist presentation that they bring it to you in. Aged 10 years, says it right here on the box. It says unchill filtered prominently here, which is great. This is bottled at 46.3% ABV. And here's what it's got to say. What gives Ledaig 10-year-old single malt whiskey its intensely complex character. Peat-tried malted barley is married with aromatic water drawn from dark mountain lochs on the rugged Isle of Mull. There you go. It's got some tasting notes there as well. And that's about it on the box. Here's what the bottle looks like. As you can see, I've put a little bit of a dent in already, if that gives you any indication of what I think about this whiskey. It doesn't mention anything here either about color, so maybe we have to assume that they've added some color to this, but non-chill filtered 46.3%, all good things. Okay, let's get this in the glass. All right. And just for the sake, here's what the color is looking like. Okay, let's get into the nose, y'all. Ooh, fresh, smoky peat. There's some citrus, there's some vanilla, definitely sweetness. Really great nose. It's simultaneously robust but delicate. The peat is a bit more of a sweeter peat. It's not like that medicinal Laphroaig, not as much of that as you would expect from a heavily peated Scotch. And doesn't have those deep earthy tones of an Ardbeg. This is just a fresh, heavily peated Scotch. Jumping out of the glass. A lot of vanilla in here. Again, orange, maybe a little bit of toffee, some citrus. Really nice nose. Okay. We got a nice nose. Let's see how it goes on the taste. Sláinte, y'all. Rich, but medium body, complex. There's some really nice, almost powdered sugar sweetness. Then you start getting some tropical fruit, mango, guava, maybe a little bit of pineapple. The citrus is there, but underneath it is like a dark toffee malted milk ball, rich molassesy note. It's not really dark molasses, but it almost has that barrel influence that you would expect from a bourbon. You get a little bit of that effervescent peat on the tongue, slight peppery, slight salty, not overpowering, just incredibly harmonious, and it goes into a medium long finish. You're left with some vanilla, dried honey, apple. Maybe even a little bit of a cafe mocha. Good stuff. Let's put a little bit of water on this. As I said, 46.3% ABV. It's a 10-year-old whiskey. It's nice and young. It can take a little bit of water. Ooh. And it gets even more vibrant with water. Lemon, lime, pineapple, More earthy tones coming through now, even almost an herbal note. Just damp, dark soil almost. Bonfire peat smoke wrapped all around it. Incredible nose. It's so balanced. This is not an Isla single malt, but boy, if you didn't know that, you would think it was. But it has such a nice balance to it. It's reminding me almost more of like a Kilhome and Mocker Bay. Sweet fruits coming through, peaches, vanilla, strawberry, just mixing together. Great. Let's give it another taste. Immediately on the nose, you're hit with a very sweet note, but as it develops, a whole array of flavor, spice, sweetness, a bit of savory almost. That earthy tone is there. The pepper is taking a little bit of a step back. It's pretty viscous and oily. Vanilla, toffee, caramel. I guarantee this is an ex-bourbon matured whiskey. Again, rides into a nice medium long finish. There is a little bit of, again, that cafe mocha, not dark chocolate, more milk chocolate. Spice in the background. I mean, we're talking like Chinese 5-spice, maybe a bit of allspice. One more taste. That saltiness is still there. You do get a little bit of a maritime note. It's a hard to pin down, but it's there. You just know it, especially if you've had some other single malt scotches from the island region or even something like Old Pulteney. Okay. So Ledaig 10, not an exclusive whiskey by any stretch. It is part of their core range. Value-wise, though, might not be always the easiest thing to find. This isn't going to be on every shelf, but if you find it, you'll see it in the United States probably around that $55 range, which I think is a really good value for what you're getting here. So I'm going to put this at a high value mark. Okay, final thoughts here on the Ledaig 10. This is a dark horse for sure. Fans of Isla peated scotches, and I mean things like Lagavulin 16, Laphroaig 10, Ardbeg 10, Kalila 12. This is a whiskey you need to have on your bar. It punches far above its weight for a 10-year-old whiskey. It's an excellently crafted. I think the barrels on this are really, really high quality. It has an incredible balance, but you get a lot of intense peat smoke. This is a real winner and a surprise, not what you'd expect from a 10-year-old whiskey necessarily. So my final score on the Ledaig 10 is going to be a healthy 4 out of 5, which means I recommend you pick yourself up a bottle of this. You really can't go wrong. The more you drink it, the more you're going to enjoy it. There's subtle complexities in this that, I mean, even right now, I'm getting kind of a cinnamon note. It's in gingerbread note that I wasn't picking up before. There's a lot to explore here, and at an incredible price. If you're a fan of smoky whiskey, find yourself a Ledaig 10. So yeah, 4 out of 5. Highly recommend buying a bottle. That is going to be my score on this. And with that, I will sign off for another whiskey review. If you've yet to, do hit subscribe. That'll make sure you don't miss any of my reviews, which come out every single Friday. And make sure you get the notification for my happy hours every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And with that, I will send you over to your malt music, and we'll catch you next time here on Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. Sluncha.